What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Lucid's up 1.64%, 212 the low, 219 the high. And you are seeing somewhat lowish volume, so 100 million shares being traded, 133 is the average. Majority of the volume being done today, and even across the board in the market, is because of algorithmic trading. And so people seem to have forgotten exactly what happened yesterday between Trump and Elon, or I think based on sentiment, a lot of people feel like it was staged. Real question is, why would someone want to stage a kind of an argument, a divorce in public that would cause Tesla to go down like 17%? I think the real question is so people can essentially buy the dip with Tesla before robo-taxis do come out, but that's a whole separate video. But aside from that though, there was also some good data points that's really pushing the market higher. So non-farm payroll came in at 139 versus 130 the forecast, so very good for that. Unemployment came in line with the forecast of 4.2, so very good stuff. Negative side is that these good data points don't really justify rate cuts, and so you also did have Trump coming out saying that, hey, we need to cut like 100 basis points like ASAP. So it is kind of a sticky scenario, but nonetheless, based on what Elon did mention yesterday on how there will be a recession in the second half of 2025 because of Trump's tariffs, this kind of does show that we have a good, strong-ish economy. So I think this data is more reassuring rather than anything. But aside from that though, Lucid actually did put out some news this morning. So Lucid announces election of Douglas Grimm to board of directors. So this is associated to the recent shareholder meeting. And ultimately this individual, so Douglas, does have a lot of experience. It looks like multiple executive positions at Chrysler, so good stuff. And he ultimately is filling Peter's spot at the board. So we already do kind of know what happened to Peter and whatever else, but yeah, I think this is good. I know a lot of people generally do care about the board of directors, which they are important, but I feel like it's the CEO. They're the ones pretty much running the show at the end of the day. So as kind of experienced as the board of directors is, it still falls down onto the vision of the CEO. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. But the only other thing that kind of came out was more of a twofold type of thing. So we do know that Lucid Middle East did post a video about Blacklane, even though there's been no official comment from Lucid as far as I'm aware. But I think just the reading between the lines, there is a deal, because there was that special event that I did post. I posted a short of it back in like end of April. So we do know that there is some deal, just they're waiting to officially announce it. So this is a big deal for Saudi Arabia. Most likely is going to result in a significant order coming from Blacklane. Aside from that though, you also do have this coming out. So Lucid Air sedans join Miami chauffeur firms premium EV fleets. So you're getting pretty much chauffeur firms and kind of rental agencies on both sides of the ocean. So that's pretty good. I think essentially Lucid might have found its niche. Maybe they want to hit the premium kind of chauffeur section or sector, whatever, if that is even a thing. But yeah, I think Lucid definitely does need to find its niche. Clearly, the typical American family isn't their target market. So I think that's one thing that Lucid's always struggled with, is determining who their audience is. Peter, he was very, very smart from the get-go, very brilliant with the technology, but I think in his viewpoint, he thought every person on the street in the States was going to line up and buy a Lucid. And clearly that's just the difference between a business-oriented individual and tech. So I think that's one thing I've always compared with Rivian is very, very business oriented, whereas Lucid, they're very, at least they were very tech oriented. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out and determine what Mark is, but nonetheless though, those are the two updates I wanted to share with you. Lucid shorts right now are increasing a crazy amount. 9.9 million shares. 31.7% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 390.94 million shares overall are being shorted. So today they are really doubling down, and you can kind of see they hit it first thing. And so ultimately that is what caused this. So imagine if like shorts weren't involved with like Lucid, like essentially they would have not killed the momentum first thing, and Lucid would have continued on up. So maybe having like 5% green days such as Tesla. So let me know your viewpoint on shorts increasing like 10 million shares or whatever it was. What was that? 9.98. But moving over to options, 586,000 in calls, 390 in puts. 43% of all the options being done are bullish in nature and a little bit low kind of on the dollar value. So overall, roughly 1 million in total premiums, 3 yesterday, 1.9 the day prior. So people aren't really paying attention to Lucid through options as they once were. But based on the bulls, you see consensus for it to be roughly around 2 and then 250 going into the foreseeable future. Bears for it to be sub $2. With today being Friday, just take note of this. So you have 4,000 at that 2 for open interest, and then 21,000 at that 250. So you won't be seeing any bump up or any gamma squeeze or anything like that. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So string of buying, string of selling. And as I mentioned at the beginning, majority of the volume is actually coming from algorithmic trading. This is a good kind of proof of that. But with it right now at 217 is right below this S1. So 218 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. 199 is going to be the next strong support. And then if it does close above that 218 for today, then you never know, you could see that 248. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, no new analyst ratings or anything as far as that. No new news or anything. It's just pretty much everything that I did bring up already. That's what is being discussed on at least the market. And as far as on the actual chart, it is still below all the key pivotal moving averages. Stochastic RSI is very, very oversold. So that could really stand to benefit it in the next couple of days. It just needs good concrete news and not uncertainty on a larger scale. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. What's your viewpoint, for instance, on shorts doubling down? What's your general kind of 2 cents on everything that's been happening? Do you feel like the whole Trump and Elon was staged, and why? So yeah, it's kind of crazy how we are, like how it's 2025. Like sometimes I reflect back to even like 2 years ago on how, I don't mean to say simple, but how simple the market was. Like over the last just, what was it, 5 months? Like this market has been insane. It's like all over the place. It's crazy. But let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some good buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.